Hi everybody, welcome you to Module 5, Evaluating a Lesson Plan. This module, together with the other modules in the course, will help you plan a lesson effectively. In this video, we are going to look at what evaluating a lesson and a lesson plan means, and the reasons for evaluating. We also review some important components of a lesson plan, principles for writing SMART objectives, and the principles for choosing and sequencing activities to get ready for evaluating a lesson plan and evaluating a real lesson in the following videos. Now, let us start with the first part, lesson plan evaluation, what and why. Look at this reflective teaching cycle suggested by Tomlinson. As you can see, there are 4 main steps teachers should do for each lesson: plan, teach, reflect, plan. This cycle goes like this. First, you plan the lesson. After that, you use your plan to teach the lesson. After teaching, you can reflect on your own lesson, and you can use this reflection and feedback to replan the old lesson or plan the new lesson. The new teaching cycle begins. Some new teachers may wonder if this cycle has anything to do with evaluation. Well, let us see the relationship between them. Now, can you answer this question? What do you do when you reflect a lesson or a lesson plan? Of course, you have to think about the lesson you have taught, or look again at the plan you have just written and evaluate them. In this lesson, we use evaluating a lesson or a lesson plan with the meaning that we think of the lesson or study the lesson plan carefully, analyzing it, see the quality of it, and decide to make suitable adjustments for it. When we evaluate the lesson or the lesson plan, we should consider a number of facts such as learners' satisfaction and performance, the feedback from them, the success of the lesson, the language, the objectives of the lesson, etc. Now, let's see the difference between these evaluations. First, evaluating a lesson. This evaluation can and should be carried out both during and after teaching and learning. It may be both formal and informal. Formal evaluation can be done after the teacher teaches the lesson in the form of a test. Informal evaluation can just be asking and answering questions. You ask yourself and the pupils and the observer, if there is one, such questions as: was the lesson a good one? And why? Would you like any parts of my lesson? Which one is the best? Etc. These questions help you get the feedback for your real teaching. The second evaluation, evaluating a plan. You can also evaluate a lesson plan you have written before you actually use it to teach the students. You need to reread it carefully, ask the other teachers' comments to see if you want to change anything in the plan. We have just talked about what is evaluation. Now another question for you. Why do we need evaluation in lesson planning? Good. Teachers should evaluate the lesson because they want to know how successful the lesson is, or to confirm whether the teachers and students have successfully accomplished the objectives. They should evaluate a lesson to make any judgment for the next lesson if necessary. But this sometimes might be too late for the students if it is the last lesson. This is better done if teachers evaluate the plan before teaching. That means they evaluate the plan and make any necessary changes before they teach. Evaluation also helps them to develop themselves professionally as well. You can improve many skills such as reflection skills, critical thinking skills, observation skills, planning skills, etc. Now, let's talk about how to evaluate a lesson plan. Of course, we use a checklist for evaluating the plan. We use some criteria for evaluating the lesson. And we use some questions for teacher and students to reflect on the lesson they have conducted. To evaluate the lesson plan, we need to look at its core components. I hope you still remember the components of a lesson plan we learned in Module 2, the way to write strong objectives in Module 3, and the principles of sequencing activities in Module 4. Let's look again at the list of components, activities, and the principles you have learned. You may use either of these templates with all the core components. The first template, you have class description, objectives, or goal, the language input, materials, input resources, anticipated problems, and possible solutions. The procedure with warmer activities, outcomes, or consolidation. Or you can use it, a review or home link. Time for each activity is included in the procedure. The last component, very important one, is evaluation or comment. Okay, you can use the other lesson plan template on the right of the screen. Now, it has class description, timetable fit, aims and objectives, assumed knowledge, anticipated problems, teaching aids or materials and resources, procedure, evaluation or comment. I hope you still remember what are the key information you should write in each component. Do you have any questions for the components? Not now, that's good. will still need to revise these components. Go back to Module 2. Now, we'll spend a few minutes to revise the SMART objectives. Tell me the 4 objectives you learned in Module 3 as the key principles to set objectives. I hope you still remember the key letters S, M, A, O. S. Specific, set in concrete terms. M. Measurable, able to see the achievement. A. Achievable, within the level of student, or student can do it, usually in a short period of time. O. For observable. This is similar to measurable, an active verb. Some of you hear the word SMART used with objectives. SMART objectives. You know the difference? Good. The first 3 letters are the same: specific, measurable, achievable. Now R for realistic. That is, the objective must be relevant to the learner's skills and needs and suit the resources. T for time-bound or time-based. The time allowance for the objectives to be achieved, as said earlier, usually in a short period of time. You may use by the end of the lesson or by the end of the unit. One more important thing you also learn is using Bloom taxonomy in writing objectives. We have high-order thinking versus low-order thinking skills. Here are 6 levels of thinking. Remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. Still, you have to remember to use the measurable and observable verbs in each level. Read the 3 examples on the screen. Think of which levels are the verbs. Example 1. Pupils can list out 6 names of the animals. This is remember level. Students can ask and answer about the school subjects using structure. What's that? It is applied level. Students can listen and respond physically to teachers' commands. Understand level. Finally, you come up with 3 most important principles of selecting and sequencing activities. They are learnability. It means that all the activities should be based on the teaching objectives and put in such an order that the activities are arranged from receptive to productive, from more controlled, more supported, to freer and student-led, from easy to more difficult or challenging, from impersonal to personal, from concrete to more abstract. All these have people learn. The other principle is variety. It means that there should be a balance between the skills listening, speaking, reading, and writing. There should be a balance between learning style, from seeing pictures to listening to songs or moving or doing action. There should be a balance between interaction patterns, from whole class to group work or pair work or individual work. There should be a balance between settling and stirring activities. Now the principle of flexibility. It is the specific context of teaching with particular students that tells teachers to choose what and how to teach. Such factors as student level, the length of the activity, the amount of preparation, facilities can affect the way we decide on the activities in our lesson. So far, we have looked at what evaluation of a lesson plan is and why should we do it, things to consider when doing it. We have also reviewed all the components of a lesson plan, principles for writing SMART objectives, and principles of choosing and sequencing activities. We have done all this to get ready for evaluating a lesson plan and evaluating a real lesson. This will help us replan and recycle the old lesson plans and writing the new lesson plans. Above all, we can develop our teaching skills professionally. That's all for now. Thanks for watching this video.